All right, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Bahasham HaKodash. I want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. I'm Zahar, Spirit Wind Judah. All right, back at you with another topic, all right, which is basically a continuation of the prior topic, which was entitled, She Must Be an Asset, Akim. She must be an asset. And we looked up the word asset, and it essentially means to satisfy. All right. Add means to set. Well, let me just get it right quick. All right. Let me get the breakdown. Okay. This time I'll just get it out of the etymology online. Asset. You see? It says asset. It says asset, sufficient estate. All right. Sufficient estate, sufficiency, satisfaction, compensation, enough, great deal. From the vulgar Latin ad means satis to sufficiency, from Latin ad and satis, which means enough, to satisfy. So an asset literally means to satisfy. So if something is an asset, that means it satisfies, all right? Meaning that it brings something to the table that's worth the expense of getting it, all right? For example, all right? I don't know, a pet or a dog, you see? It could be an asset to you because now you have something that watches you and helps protect you, all right? So now you're satisfied with your expense, all right, that you spent on it. Same thing with the woman, okay? All right? She has to be an asset, meaning she has to satisfy, man. All right? And the way you know she's not an asset, all right, and she's a liability because she does the opposite of satisfy, all right? Which is basically vex, to drag, all right? Just bring down your spirit, all right? But I just so happened to notice when I was watching over my last video that I was going over the word bimbo, and I don't even think I noticed the other etymology of the word bimbo, all right? Because bimbos are not assets, all right? And I'm gonna go back to the word bimbo, the definition. It says a person, typically a woman, regarded as being intellectually vacuous, all right, which means empty, like a vacuum cleaner, it sucks up and makes it empty, and having an inordinate interest in appearing sexually seductive. All right, but then it says, perhaps from Italian, bimbo, which means baby. A baby. You see? A baby. Let me read down. From Italian, little child. Little child. So a bimbo is mentally a child. A woman who's a child. You see? And I don't think I saw that when I was reading the definition. Bimbo literally means a baby. Bimbo means baby. You see? So a lot of us brothers, we're babysitting our women. We got overgrown children who never came into their womanhood. So they're thinking that you're their dad and you're supposed to take care of them. All right? They're spoiled little rotten brats. All right? They're big babies. All right? So if bimbo goes back to the word baby, which basically is a child, let's see what makes a child, what constitutes a child. All right? We know it's not the fact that she hasn't finished puberty, because she has finished puberty. So what constitutes a child, or what makes a person a child? It says a child, this is the dictionary online. All right? It says a young woman, a young human being below the age of puberty or below the legal age of majority. All right? So we know that doesn't fit this particular topic. All right? Because we're talking about a woman who, let's just say, is over 18. All right? For modern day sake. All right? Which we know scripturally, you're an adult when you finish puberty. You know? A son or daughter of any age. An immature or irresponsible person. Does that sound familiar? A child is an immature or irresponsible person. Going back to the original topic, the first lesson, she has to be an asset. Someone who's immature is not an asset. Someone who's not responsible is not an asset. Adults who are immature and irresponsible, they're usually still depending on their parents for their survival. Or their parents have enabled them to make poor decisions because their parents have become safety nets, all right, for their offspring's immaturity and irresponsibility. But now you are that woman's safety net, all right? A form of a woman being immature is liking men for something elementary, such as popularity or something sexual. That's immature, man. All right, and it's primal, it's primitive. But the primary reason why you with this guy because of sex, you thinking that Jake is endowed, or like I said, you like him because other women like him. You just going off your little basic nature. That's immature, man. Part of being mature is you have a control over your nature. All right? You dealing with somebody solely off their looks, that's motherfucking immature. You in heat. Now any low life could get the pussy, man. You in heat, any dog can hump you now. That's immature as fuck. You just got these babies like they just came with existence. Like baby just like a pelican dropped it off, man. No, those babies came because you're sexually immature and you're sexually irresponsible. Now you want a real man, also known as a father, all right? Your father to be a safety net for your poor decision making. Just how a lot of women are they use their actual fathers as a safety net for their poor decision making. So a bimbo is a baby or a child. And what constitutes a child? An immature or irresponsible. An immature or irresponsible person. So a woman who's immature and a woman who's irresponsible, all right, cannot be an asset. They are a liability, and you're going to have to pay for their irresponsible nature. They can't manage money. That's a sign of being irresponsible. You're going to have to pay for that. As a child, as soon as you give a child money, they spend it. All right? That's why women are horrible with credit cards. Women are horrible with spending. They always on Amazon Prime. They always spend it because they're little girls. Modern women have never come into their womanhood, with the exceptions. See, they have a frame of a woman, but their inner person has never been developed. Because the only person that can make you a woman is really a man. But remember, you don't need a man. That's very childish to have a mindset. If men can do it, we can do it. Men are toxic masculinity. You know what that reminds me of? Ew, boys. Boys are gross. They're just a little fucking girl, man. Girls are smarter than boys. You're just a little fucking girl. You see? But then you maneuver in the world and you wonder why you behind or you're frustrated, man. Because you won't let a man take the lead. And a lot of you women who had that mindset that a man being a leader, especially a so-called black man being a leader, a lot of you, they have that same mindset that's toxic. You'll bust it wide open for a nigga you don't know. That's the irony in that. The irony in that shit. It's women who they have no qualms about. Let me get the scripture, man. Let me not turn this into a rant, man. Let me get the scripture, man. All right. You know, they have no qualms, no inhibitions about mouthing off to a stranger, all right, giving mouth to a stranger. But what's toxic to them, what they've been conditioned to believe was toxic, is you actually being in subjection to a man as the leader of the household. Man, you know, a lot of you women really disgust me, man. You know, personally, it's for some women it's hard to even stay turned on like that. When you see how their mind works, it's like, for me personally, sometimes it's like, man, this ain't gonna work, man. I ain't trying to go through this shit, you know. Let me go back, man. You know, it's a vexation, man. You know? Give me 1 second, I can. Sirach 26:12. She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he have found a fountain, and drink of every water near her. By every hedge will she sit. By every hedge will she sit down. All right, yeah, she liking all these different niggas on her the little dating apps. All right, entertaining any nigga that hit up on her IG or her DM, or entertaining every nigga. All right, being a weak bitch, man. I don't know how to say no to a nigga. You see, by every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow. And she does that. What you know what that means is being sexually promiscuous. And they do that under the guise of being single. All right? Or I'm just dating this guy I dated. Or my friend. No, you're a whore. If different men are piping you down, no matter what title was under, you're a whore. All right? But I'm not going into that lesson to break down what a whore is. But a lot of you same liberal women, all right, you despise being under one man, under his leadership, because you were conditioned to think that was Mr. from Color Purple. Yet you'll fuck any lowlife, man. And you think you can rightfully do it because you're not so-called married, man. What type of backward shit is that? You drunk off that Babylon juice, man. All right, but then when you're played out, when you've hit the wall, or you're leaving your so-called modern prime, all right, now you want somebody to be a safety net for your immaturity. You want somebody to be a safety net for your poor decision making. All right, well, this is gonna be followed by a sob story, man. All right, you see, but that's okay because that's getting played out, man. Okay. So look, the word bimbo goes back to the word baby. So what Esau has done, all right, they've created a society that allowed women to never evolve, to stay in a childlike state. Did they not make a song called "Girls Just Want to Have Fun"? You know who else just want to have fun? Children, babies. They just want to have. That's what makes them careless, and the society creates a safety net to where they can do that by the way of something called birth control, Planned Parenthood, all types of contraception that allows them to be careless, all right, in their sexual immaturity, man. All right, you see, babies, man. All right, so a lot of us brothers, man, we get women who they're malfunctioned, man. They've never evolved. They have the bodies of women, but they don't have the minds of a woman. Like Boosie said in that one song years ago, I used to mess with little girls with little minds who weren't grown yet. Y'all ain't grown yet. Y'all might be of the age of an adult, but you're not mentally grown. And like a little girl, you need attention. That's why you're always on social media. Look at me. Look at me. Look how pretty I am. Look at my body. Attention. You're a little girl. And now you got grown women in their 30s and 40s that can't stay off social media. Because they're little girls, they've never evolved into women. If you need attention from strangers or privacy from your man, that's a problem. All right? But like I said, a lot of you so-called black women, y'all finna be out here, man. All right? The Most High is about to judge you, and he is judging you. All right? Because you think it's a game to blindside your man, because you're a child. You think it's a game to wake up and kiss your man and get ready to go to work, all right, and then have a whole nother nigga, all right, that afternoon, man. All right, juggling two realities, living a life of duplicity, man. But because in your mind, it's a game. Women are full of games because they're babies. That's why they have to be led like a baby. That's why they're gullible like a baby. That's why society targets them like like babies. Ooh, I want that. Ooh, you see? But with that, let me get this closing scripture, because this spawned from the scripture. From the last lesson, which went into assets. Then the scripture popped into my mind, probably around the end of it. All right, let me just get it. All right, Isaiah 4:1, and this is really essentially our women making themselves assets. Isaiah 4:1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Or eat our own bread, wear our own apparel. They're not going to make themselves a burden on us. All right. They're not going to make themselves a liability. All right. They're not going to make themselves a nuisance towards us. All right. But they just want our name, like so-called take our last name per se, to get their reproach off them. So ultimately they can be saved, have our babies and be saved. As it says in the scriptures, she should be saved in what? Childbearing. Right? But right now, the modern world, Babylon, has allowed women to devolve into the state of a child, to be irresponsible. That's why they mess with you, or they'll be dealing with you. Then what happens? They'll ghost you. Because they in other words, I don't want this toy isn't fun anymore. I found a new toy. But she don't know how to tell you, so she ghosts you like a fucking child. All right? It's easy to hurt her feelings like a fucking child. All right? She's self-centered like a child. You know? And this society has enabled them to stay in the mindset of a child. All right? Be careless and chase excitement and fun like a child. Chase attention like a child. Look at me. Look at my body. I gave you my number, but I'm not going to call him. I'm not going to pick up his phone. And when he picks up, I'm not going to call. I'm going to see, like, it's a child, man. A little immature and a little irresponsible child. But with that, I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakadosh, double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops, great millstone, Ruel. Peace and blessings to those David the elect, Abba, Commercial, Shalom.